guys, so my last video talked about my buddy's car a little bit. We tore it all apart and cut the front end off of it so we could make a new modified this winter for him out of a late model. So we got his car gone. We got the late model in here, 2012 Masterbilt. One of the things we were kind of worried about is whether or not his rear end out of his Pierce modified would actually fit in the car. A little bit of luck, everything's bolting up pretty much square right in it. So
oh, that shock's still good. Oh.
All the shocks bolt in like they're supposed to. We think the rear end might be over to the right just a tad bit, but we just kind of threw it in there for mock-up. And you can kind of see we're going to cut off basically from the mid plate down and graft the stub on it, and everything lines square up to that as well. It's like it was meant to be. Lift arm and everything lines up like it's supposed to. And keep in mind, all these parts were out of a Pierce car. And this is a Masterbilt late model. It came out of a modified, so.
A Pierce modified and a Masterbilt late model are strikingly similar.
So we think what we're trying to do is actually going to work. And like I said, we were worried about the rear end fitting, and then we were worried about the width of this front stub fitting with this, but it all lines up miraculously. One thing we are going to have to do is our mid plate's going to have to be moved back. How many inches did you say?
We got to go from 25 to 36, so 11 inches.
Yeah, it's got to be moved back 11 inches.
This is about where that stub's at.
So we're going to have to modify this footwell a little bit. We're hoping that we can keep most of the footwell, but it does not really looking like it.
We're hoping to hopefully get Rico Abreu on the team.
Right.
Because the fact he ain't got no legs.
What we might do is just narrow it up some and build our own header for this side, depending on where the motor actually sits in the car. So. Now we could just bolt the motor in and lengthen our drive shaft, but we want it as short as possible, or we want the motor back as far as possible.
Yeah, because that'll give us.
We also took my mod that was sitting over here, took it out to his house, freed up some space so I can get my car backed in where it's supposed to be. And I went down to the parts store the other day and they didn't have everything I needed, so they're gonna call me Monday.
4.5.
4.5 inches?
We're at 76 3/4. We gotta go back 4 3/4.
I thought 11 sounded a little.
72 is a UMP rule.
Well, 4.5, that ain't a big deal.
No. That'll give us that generic modified foot box, which is lovely. Sure do like that.
Well, like I said, we might be able to narrow it up.
Right. No, I mean there's more than one way to skin the cat. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. Yeah, so that seems a lot more agreeable, which means because modified car has a 4.5 to 6 inch longer wheelbase. That seems more legit. Because actually the wheelbase should be longer on this car. I went a little bit too far, a little too overzealous,
But it's gonna work for what we want.
yeah. That should make it not look so much like a clown car.
Right. We'll keep you updated on it as we're working on it. We'll get some more video of it. So right now everything's looking pretty good.
Not too bad for a $2,000 car grafted into a $250 car.
Yeah, what's funny is I told you guys we bought these two late model frames. One was a 2012 Smackdown, 2010 Smackdown, Masterbilt Smackdown. The other one was an 08. We only paid $350 for the pair of them. And they're both, as far as we can tell, they're both completely straight. The guy, we went up to Iowa to buy them. The guy that was selling them said he couldn't give them away up there, so we drove 5.5 hours and picked them both up.
It's up. Cool.
All right, well, we'll keep you guys updated and get some more video of this project over the winter.
That's the next thing to do, slice and dice.
Right.